will really change up how this could play out.
Yeah, it is a big deal here for FAV Gaming playing without their without their captain of Shin, subbing in their analyst at QConfirm have their work cut out for them. And in this first match of the playoffs, oh, look at that!
That's so good.
Oh my god. This is so wholesome. Oh my god, I love all these players. Oh my god.
That's really nice to see. Good way to start the game.
Yeah, okay, let's not let that derail things too much. Dokkaebi banned straight out of the gate. This is one that we have seen FAV love to play. And look, let's all be honest, no one loves playing against a Dokkaebi, not when that phone's ringing.
No, definitely. I think if you ever identify that a team is a bit of a Dokkaebi main team, or they like to bring it on a lot of occasions, certainly you want to ban, because it really is frustrating to deal with. And in particular on Villa, because of the way the map is laid out, all the different stairwells and floors, and just it's a very flank-heavy map, so to speak, or even just roam-heavy. Getting Dokkaebi out just helps facilitate that roam or facilitate a flank a lot easier on the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, Thatcher and Kaid going out. It's funny when you kind of see it's like when you're doing some maths and you like kind of just like cross out the I'm completely forgetting the term, but like when you're doing like high school or primary school level like some addition or whatever, and you like cross out the like. It doesn't matter. They kind of just cross each other out, right?
Starting to question if you even did it, Dev.
Oh my god. Look, I'm just still hung up over the fact that these guys spammed happy birthday in chat and trying to recompose myself after that. What I'm getting at, look, Thatcher's gone, which is nice if you're a mute or bandit player, but with Kaid gone, it does make the job of the attackers encountering that a little bit easier. I like this from QC though. Another Echo ban coming through. Very, very rare. And again, I think this is them doing their research onto FAV.
Yeah, look, definitely. I think Echo still has some merit in terms of being frustrating to handle sometimes. It's not necessarily about tracking down those yokais anymore. It's just the extra layer of intel gathering for sure. But if you have had some difficulty with it, well, it's going to come back to bite you. Now, immediately jumping out at me right here is this attack composition from FAV, bringing both a Lion and a Ying. That is a pretty hectic kind of decision because they are both operators that create a lot of havoc and just can be a real pain for defenders to deal with. So QC are definitely going to have to stay on their toes in terms of how this attack progresses.
Yeah, look, it is always going to be difficult when you're playing against... a lot of these APAC North teams and the Thai teams tend to be the ones that really love the aggression and those explosive plays. Without the Dokkaebi, I mean, FAV can get it done in other forms. I really like the comp that we've got here. I think it seriously does have some potential, but what we tend to see with strats like this, Raven, and I'm sure you could kind of attest to this, is when you're kind of really relying on an explosive moment of, Ying and Lion and all that, like it really just comes down to timing and execution. And I do wonder, without Shin, the most experienced player on FAV, how will they be able to achieve that?
Yeah, it's a good point to bring up. It's not just the fact that FAV are playing with a sub, being their analyst Nutter. It's also the fact that they're losing Shin, who is a very experienced player. He's played at the international stage before. It's just a very steadying hand for them. So this is real unknown territory. And I was looking back at APAC North for the last two stages. They just haven't really played with a sub before. So this is just really uncharted territory. And you never know. Sometimes that could be a key to victory.
Totally, but for now, it is FAV Gaming with this map control clearing quite a lot here, all things considered. Really strong extension. I love that read as well. I bet there wasn't even a drone. I bet that was just a read with that grenade through the floor. Hajime is down to low HP, and I'm just loving this from FAV Gaming. Always an enjoyable team to watch, and here they come with some more Candelas.
Yeah, nice early aggression. Hajime has been quite tagged in this whole progression here, and already within that first minute, really nice map control from FAV is coming across from the Astro side of the map. It just means they can lock that down. They start to think about covering their flanks through Astro stairs, but that is all part of the standard procedure here for Villa. And as you can see, Producer Boom is lurking very ominously there on the pantry stairs.
Always a possibility for a flank here from QC, and this is where we might see some cracks in the armor for FAV Gaming, but they do find the opening pick. K-Razor taking down Healthcare. The Thai defense is somewhat weakened, but Producer Boom ever present here. Is there a drone watching for this position? He also has a C4, which could be deadly.
Oof. Deadly it is. It's going to be the trade coming back in now under a minute. It's diffuser down in stat. Going to be able to easy recover, but Hajime, aggressive peak, is going to be able to take out Natsa. This means that QConfirm have this man advantage now. Time starting to just really dwindle away. And this is really telling for FAV right now. How can they progress from this point on with this man disadvantage? And also just the fact that because they're playing with a sub, maybe this is just going to be quite messy and rigid for them.
This is when some tough decisions need to be made and someone just needs to make a call for FAV. 3v4. Hajime in such an aggressive position, just waiting for the swing, but he is low. Playing on for the crossfire though. Is the cross going to come through? There it happens, but the refrag is successful for FAV Gaming. 2 versus 3 now, and Taipon is into the plant position. Astra has to cover, but Taipon manages to cover himself, but not before Lycolis can swing, and QConfirm to tidy up what was left, taking down the first round against FAV Gaming.
Really good round from QConfirm as well. They just held to what they do well, and that's just be a little bit aggressive, poke from the odd occasions, Producer Boom lurking below. He definitely could have had a much bigger impact that was well shut down by FAV, but at the end of the day, QConfirm didn't overextend. I think they just held their ground really firm and fragged out when they needed to. What was really concerning for me, I guess, Dev, is already, you know, FAV, they did okay in that round, not going to lie, but once they had the wheels fall off a little bit in the mid-rounds, it did feel just a touch clunky. But look, they certainly had an opportunity there. I think they can go toe-to-toe with QC. I think what will be important, though, is just not letting QConfirm get any massive amount of momentum in this first half.
Well, that's the thing that QConfirm thrives on, right? Like, they're a team that loves to play a little bit differently and a little bit aggressively, like not necessarily the rigidity that I guess a lot of other teams would see. And I'm going to try and find this quote because I actually sent out a bunch of questions to all the teams and chatted to all these players. And Lycolis had a lot of interesting things to say about QC. He said, I think what made our team special is the fact that we always told everyone not to be a robot. And it's really about that creativity and the flexibility rather than just kind of playing to a rigid strat. And kind of QConfirm takes that to another level, right? And they really just love playing loosely. And so, look, I think that may be the antidote to FAV, but it's so hard to say at this point. FAV are a team that, like, when they're all in sync, it's beautiful. But sometimes when they kind of just sit around and stall out, you get a little bit concerned for them.
Definitely do. So it's something we're going to have to keep a pretty close eye on. Right now, QConfirm just looking to extend below. Just saw Hajime still lurking around the kitchen area. He's already had a pretty big impact with those 2 kills in the first round, so it's something that FAV are going to have to just keep their eye on. And roam clear in particular, if you are missing your primary IGL and Shin, you know, this is an area that can be really tough to coordinate, is pinching a roam. So this is where I think QConfirm could really effectively dismantle some of these attacks.
Like this Nook play, they're not invulnerable to those Grishmont mines from Ella. Wonder if number 2's play here is to go below, try and clear out some positions. He does actually take down Hajime. Nice start here for the Nook player. Number 2 is always a big hitter, especially with these grenades. This might be a perfect grenade, and Healthcare goes straight down. No drone needed. FAV just have the game sense and the map knowledge to get that done.
That's awesome. That is just so well played from FAV to be able to clear out that roam and hit such an important nade. And I guess that's the benefit of mirror, is sometimes you do know it creates a static position. Why have a mirror up if no one's playing the position? So just really perfectly played there from FAV, and a good sign to stand up against what QC have tried to do to kind of derail the existing situation. And now with a 2-man disadvantage, it's going to be quite tough in this final minute for QConfirm. And here's number 2. He is just lurking below right now with this Nook.
Difficult, though, coming against a position protected by that Vulcan shield, though. A flashbang is all it takes to flush that defender back. Roldini does have another strong position to play from, but doesn't really matter when QConfirm are dropping like flies. This is the FAV that we were hoping to see, a FAV that does work like clockwork. And on the back of that Lion charge, it doesn't seem to be what they need as of yet. Time ticking down. Number 2 makes his entry into the site. He does get the injure there, traded back. And it is just Producer Boom now on for the flank with Mira. 1 versus 3. Now there's a lot of breach on this wall. That means there's a lot of angles he's got to worry about. He can't cover them all, and that's a round for FAV Gaming.
Really, really good round from FAV in the end too. I think that's really dispelled a lot of my initial concerns at FAV that I was starting to talk about. You know, that roam clears can be difficult if you're lacking your main IGL, and just general attack coordination can be a struggle point. But they looked great on that round. They really flushed out those players below, and to get the pick out of it, as well as that frag grenade, was just such a critical start for FAV, and they didn't let it slip. That's the other important factor, is with that advantage, they held onto it and really closed it out in a strong fashion. It's such a great answer back to round 1 here, and I think QConfirm are going to have to be careful, and this is something that has been a concern in the most recent playdays at APAC South. QConfirm's form is really just, it's not a done deal. It is always up in the air in terms of how this team shows up.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, we don't see these teams clash very often, so it's so hard to know how they're going to shape out. And when we have just such, like, variety in those 2 rounds already, Raven, like, it's so hard to kind of get a vibe of what's going to be, what we're in for across this whole map.
Totally agree. Definitely feels like this is going to be a beautiful back and forth contest. Would love to open Stage 2 APAC playoffs with an overtime spectacle from these guys. It really would be exciting. So we'll see how it keeps progressing. Seeing Kitchen Dining chosen now from QConfirm is going to keep on moving, and that's, I guess, the great thing about Villa is it does have 3 really decent bomb sites. We don't really see a lot of living library chosen. There's a couple of pocket strats on it, but generally if you lose a site, you're going to rotate through to the next one, because most teams will feel as confident on that than the previous.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of Dining. I just love maps where you can, and bomb sites where you can really play into the whole map rather than kind of being a bit claustrophobic. And I do think that that's something that QConfirm will flourish a bit more here on. Like, when FAV has to put in a lot more work and have a lot more steps, I think that's when they're going to start to potentially expose some of these weaknesses, especially the ones that are a result of playing with their sub. Because so far we haven't really seen much that we would kind of point out and be like, yeah, maybe if Shin was here, you know. No, Nada seems to be on Nada, I don't know. You know more Japanese than me, Raven. Like, what do you think would probably be the most accurate pronunciation?
Like N-A-T-A, if you try and break it in the middle. Yeah. I'm assuming that's the correct pronunciation based on what I know for Japanese. Apologies if it's not. Please somebody let us know if it's different. But to your point is actually a very fair point about this is the north-south difference. In particular subs, certain strategies or certain things that are meta aren't always going to carry through to things like APAC playoffs. And so, for example, I'm looking at the Villa stats for APAC North, albeit it is limited. Trophy Statue is the most attacker-sided at 71% win rate on attacker-sided. And we just saw FAV absolutely through it. So that seems to hold up, and I think that is always an exciting thing with North versus South. It's just some of these little distances that the teams will have to adjust to on the fly.
Yeah, for sure. 2 minutes have passed, and while we did have Hajime get down, he has been safely revived once again. And it looks like QConfirm are happy to kind of just sit here, make FAV do the first move, maybe play off some audio cues for these C4s. While they do a bit of damage with one, and Afro got down somewhere, I didn't quite see where. Oh, is that? I don't know, maybe there was like a vertical line or something. But 40 seconds left, Raven, like, I don't know, this has been talking up so hard. Number 2 is just around the corner from 2 players. He finds 2 of them before traded back. But Ty Point is the last one standing.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he close to Afro, but he's not. I mean, I think he could have had time to leg it and gone for the revive for the 2v2. Not the case, though. He's going to try and solo push site here, Dev, in this 1v2 situation. 15 seconds. Kit away from his hands.
See what he can pull off. Does he have the read? Oh, no, Afro. That's what happened. Eagle out. Icolas is a bit of BM here. Let's see if Typon can get the read, but not Producer Boom. Thrown in the corner. There was a black eye watching the whole time. And, well, with that, QConfirm do bite back once again. And I'm going to say that was a fairly convincing round for QC. The only kind of flash of greatness we saw from FAV was that nice play from number 2, who does seem to be the main highlight star at the moment for FAV.
Yeah, the other thing too is Afro can be quite the superstar from time to time with
Yep,
FAV, and the fact that he...
roofs.
Yeah, exactly, he died to fall damage, so if he just hadn't done that, you never know if it came down to that 2v2 situation, a whole lot of things could have played out differently. So that was just really unfortunate for FAV there, and it did look more convincing for QConfirm for sure in that kitchen dining defense, but I really do feel the faith here that FAV Gaming can stay in touch here and even still take this map. I think it's an exciting prospect. I'm feeling like this is going to be a 3-3 half. It just feels very back and forth at the moment.
Yeah. Man, I mean, this is... it's very difficult to get a read on this game, which I've already said a bunch, but I'm just personally, you know, having not watched FAV as closely in the last, say, 6 months compared to APAC North last year, obviously had both of these teams. By the way, they played one time. Guz mentioned it on the desk. It was actually on Villa, and QConfirm won 7-0. It was just a quite a spectacle. FAV Gaming, no, I actually really enjoyed what they did. They kind of were running some blitz strats and some really cool ideas, but yeah, just it ended up just getting worse and worse as the map went on. So while these teams do have a bit of a history, like I still feel like it is difficult to get a read on how well they match against each other.
Yeah, definitely not enough data to go off. So at least already, yeah, FAV have gotten one round better than they did last time they played, but that was certainly a very long time ago, and a lot has changed since then. So we'll keep an eye on how this progresses. I love that they are sticking the Nook and Lion picks. This is just awesome to see. I think it's great to see these kinds of strats coming out for some of these teams. FAV in particular, I know they do play a lot of Lion just generally. So not too surprised to see Typon sticking the pick here. I'm not 100% sure on the Nook. I'm not going to claim that I do know that. But I think especially for Villa, it's a really good pick. There's a lot of tight corners, a lot of stairwells that you can sneakily walk up and catch a lot of players off guard on.
Oh my god, the util spam! Look at them! They love attacking this bomb site. They are in! Number 2 is 7-3 right now. 8-3. Traded back. Hajime is the last man standing. This 1-on-5 is just not possible. My god, I love this team.
I don't think we're going to see Stat Trophy again for the rest of the half. I'm not going to lie, Dev. FAV 100% have QConfirm's number on that site. They just need to not play it. So yeah, we are going to see Aviator Games, and then I'm sure we'll see Kitchen Trophy for round 6. Yeah, definitely not seeing Stat Trophy again. But that was a really, really good attack from FAV, I've got to say.
Oh, I just love watching this team so much. It's really interesting kind of just looking at FAV as a team, because they do... I don't know, they occupy this very weird space. They kind of look like no other team, really, in the way that they play, but it's not as simple as, like, you look at Elevate, right? And you're like, yeah, they play like no one else does because they just run around and kill everybody, and it's, like, so confusing to say what they do. But FAV, like, they just do these, like... They do sometimes have, you know, unorthodox op picks, like, you know, number 2's been sticking the Nook all game. But it's not just that. It's, like, the way that they play, but also the inconsistency that they have, which is their biggest enemy, right? Like, we've seen this team, like, in Stage 1, they really, really struggled within APAC North. They really, really did. And coming into Stage 2, at least things have been a little bit better, but they're still kind of developing that consistency. And it does make me wonder how reliable it is. And at least the fact that they're looking this good while playing with Nutter is... I guess something to go off.
I think that's really crucial. And yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of background or backstory to what's really happened in terms of the situation with this substitute. But yeah, the fact that they can still hold it down at the moment, at least, if they manage to progress through the bracket, I don't know whether we can expect to see Shin come back a bit later. But that could be really deadly for some of the future matches if FAV manage to keep on keeping on is if they can include Shin back into the lineup, maybe that just allows them to get the extra boost they need to get through to a major qualification spot. Really hard to say.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting with FAV. Like, I was talking to Shin before the playday. Actually, he sent me some messages this morning. He says that a lot of people kind of refer to FAV as a tactical team, but he doesn't really think that they're necessarily like a heavy tactical team. And while tactics are important, it's communication and confidence that are the best. And we have to have confidence in our play style. And that's really interesting. Like, they have such unique play style, and it's all about having their confidence in that.
I feel like that's just got to be a key learning from Latin America in general, right? Trying to get very meta here, but I feel like that is just the key to Latin America is they definitely have strategy and tactics, but they just excel so well at their mechanical skills, their play style, and most importantly, I think their teamwork, just on point. So love to hear that kind of stuff. But in terms of the game ahead of us, Dev, half the round gone. FAV have got this map control in through Astro and Stat. They're taking 90 control this time as well, so this is a lot better progress, I would say, compared to all the way back in round 1 when we saw AVG. But they haven't been able to find a pick just yet, and that's where it can get very chaotic in these executes if they turn out to be 5v5. And as we just saw, thanks to our beautiful observer, Producer Boom is still hanging out just down in the basement.
Yeah, we'll have to keep him in the back of our minds, as will FAV. Like you said, like, this is good progress in terms of map control, but you need more than that, right? Like, what is the next step for FAV? And this tends to be where they struggle. If they can't find that pick, if they can't physically breach open into the bomb site, there's a player just thrown right there in the middle of sight. Lycolis being a bit of a rat in the maps room, just peeking through the smoke, while Healthcare finds a kill through the drone hole. That's Nata going down. Lycola still holding the fort here, still that deployable shield has survived.
Somehow it has, and somehow all of QC has survived, and right now Producer Boom is poised to strike, and K-Razor is going to be the first one to feel that strike. 20 seconds to go here, Dev. FAV need to get moving.
Lycolis is just ready and waiting. They storm through, the trade comes out, and a trade back once again. QConfirm maintain control. That doesn't seem to be going anywhere, as number 2 has been the highlight for this team, and he can find another 2 kills, but at this point, there is just no time. He finds another one. Producer Boom gave him that fight very, very cocky. Number 2 is punching numbers on the board, but it doesn't make the difference.
He actually is. I'm super excited to see the scoreboard right now because I lost count of how many he just added, but I'm pretty sure he's already in double digits.
Yeah,
that is hectic.
It was like 8 on the rush rounds, and I think that was at least 3. So like, yeah, 11, maybe 12.
Crazy. Man is going off. And yeah, look, again, I really can't help but feel like we're tracking towards a 3-3 half, especially seeing QC are playing Trophy Stat again. Is that? I swear Kitchen would have been available.
Yeah,
it is.
100%.
Okay, this will be interesting. I'm going to wait and see if it pays off. I'm immediately skeptical that this is going to work out because FAV have just been clinical when attacking Stat and Trophy.
Looking at this operator lineup as well from FAV, I feel like they're probably expecting this to be Kitchen as well. Like, bringing the Jackal, you wouldn't really bring that for Trophy Stat, especially the way that these guys have been attacking. It's not like they're playing map control or anything. Why wouldn't you just keep bringing the either the Ying or the Twitch, which he was on previously? Yeah, like, I think once FAV see that this is Trophy Stat, they're going to be as confused as you were, Raven.
It might just be, but if it works, it works. I can't remember who I said that to recently. I think it was actually Hap. I was having a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And I think we're talking about CAG, and he was describing their strats, and I said, hey man, if it works, it works. That can be it here. As you talked about, Shin mentioned they just play with confidence in their playstyle. I think it's very similar with QConfirm, because they have a relatively unique playstyle, and I think that definitely separates them from a lot of teams. But at the end of the day, they have to have full confidence and belief in their system. So look, all power to them. They've chosen it. If they make this work, I will absolutely applaud them.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's the first step for me, right, is this downstairs control, because it's what number 2 is so good with. Does look like FAV are going to try and take down stairs control at least a little bit. Hajime is holding it as he was previously with Ella shotgun. Nada has actually struggled individually so far. Almost got a nice wall bang there, but yet to find a frag as of yet. with Hajime down here, I do worry for Nada. I probably wouldn't want him to be the main one entering. It actually is just him and Type 1, just looking to refrag this, I guess. Just got to be so careful in those close range engagements against that auto shotty.
Oh, the Rio, that is just timing. This is going to really telegraph exactly where this play is. Now, this is a very critical entry. Nutter gets tagged pretty heavy on that initial peak. This is really going to be a make or break for this round. I got to say, I think if FAV come out on top here, I think it's going to be very hard for QConfirm to be able to hold it down for the rest. And vice versa. If FAV manage to lose 2 of these entry players straight up, I think it'll be very hard to be able to close out the execute.
This is far from the surprising explosivity that we've seen from... Oh, as I say that, in they go with the surprising explosivity at number 2. Once again, for his 12th kill, secures Hajime and the numbers advantage for FAV Gaming. This man is just absolutely cracked.
He is maintaining a 2.0 KPR right now. Very big stat, and that's certainly helping keep FAV in the game. Lycolis, now he is a highlight player for QConfirm. He's been pretty quiet so far, and he is in a pretty precarious position there in the closet. And if FAV start to turn their attention towards Master, clearing out Lycolis is certainly going to give them the control they need. But what is starting to happen? Only 50 seconds to go. They really need to start setting up a little bit more thoroughly. Otherwise, this is going to end up being a very rushy, chaotic execute.
Yeah, that said, I mean, if FAV want to go for something rushy and chaotic, I say... power to you. Just don't hesitate. That's your biggest enemy here is hesitation. And QConfirm hiding in little rat corners as they like to do. Roldini, though, does find the opening, and it's number 2 of all people. And there's no refrag! Oh no! Eventually Type 1 does find a double. That does put FAV back in the driver's seat for this round. Lycolis starts to peel on back, but Trophy is where the pressure is mounting. Lycolis is feeling it from both sides. It's just him left. And he gets traded back. Another one for Type 1. And even when QConfirm looks strong, they still can't prevent those FAV attacks onto Stat Trophy.
Should have gone kitchen dining, boys. Sorry.
Oh, no.
But no, for real, FAV did just such a great job handling that. I think QConfirm, they played the right move in terms of what strategy they ended up employing on that site. But FAV, again, just flexing their muscle of how good they were. Every round they won was Stat Trophy. You take that out of the equation, QConfirm would be undefeated in rounds so far. But like that's just incredible that FAV was so proficient at attacking that site. And what I really liked is when it came to that crunch, we talked about how it may be this chaotic kind of execute. They 4-stacked their team at the door of Trophy. So even though, yeah, QConfirm got 2 kills out of it, they just stormed and they completely outfragged QConfirm, and it was beautiful, honestly. Yeah, really impressed by FAV's attacks of Stat Trophy.
Yeah. It's funny, like, it does make you wonder, like, why are you practicing attacking all the different bomb sites when you could probably just, like, spend 3 times as much of your effort onto learning how to attack one bomb site really, really well, and you're still going to end with a 3-3 half, right? Like, that's actually kind of not a bad strategy. I'm not implying that's what FAV have done, and I highly doubt it. But, you know, I'm looking right now in APAC North, Stage 2, 59% defensive win rate for Villa, so, you know, you would expect a 4-2 defense half. Over in APAC South, it's a little bit lower at 52%. Yeah, I don't know how much you can read into those stats, but I do feel like a 3-3 attack half, FAV are going to be happy with.
Gotta be. I think they really do have to be, because when you are playing with a sub, it's just the nature of Siege. You know, your attacks generally is what suffers the most, because it's what requires the most degree of synergy and coordination. So here they are now. They get to move to defense. I'm not going to say it's easier by any stretch. You know, Villa is kind of like that, where we've seen attacker and defender-sided matches constantly. I would consider Villa really balanced these days. So yeah, I think FAV will be really happy with getting that 3-3 half. And conversely, I think QConfirm are probably going to be feeling a fair amount of pressure right now.
Let's see if they can maintain their cool in your attack. That's what you need. You need to have that conviction in order to land those entries. And that's just not what you're looking for, is it? K-Razor, a very well-timed peek, does take down Roldini, and Nade follows him back home, and Hajime does eventually get that refrag. Along with it, Tom's control. So this isn't actually so bad here for QC.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was going to say, is while FAV did get that opening pick, I have unfortunately lost main stairs very quickly. It's really solid map control. Of course, they can try and take study. Massive hole into study, though, so not the safest thing to do. But regardless, this is really a good first opening round so far from QConfirm. Really good map control. They did lose Roldini on the Zofia, a lot of really helpful utility, but at the end of the day, I think the map control is probably outweighing the operator that they lost.
There's no player bar for FAV either. So I do wonder, with QConfirm really starting to gain a lot of control and tighten their grip over this bomb site. Ooh, I like the magnet there. It does deny the Selma. Afro may well be able to get into a position to shoot that second Selma off, but doesn't want to expose himself to the hallway. Just look at all of the angles QConfirm have into that bomb site. So difficult now for FAV.
And they're just going to go, Dev. QConfirm have just gone to site, and all of a sudden it's really fallen apart. It's basically a 2v1 right now. Hajime down in the hallway. No, he's actually down in games, and actually this is going to go live. He's got this one mission.
Oh. Tight angle there. Healthcare picks up the diffuser. May try to pick up his teammate if he's able. In Vault. This is a safe res. Now it's a 2v2 as the reset comes through, and FAV have just made the timing perfect. Healthcare did not expect that. Hajime now res has to clutch. 1 versus 2, no diffuser. It's got to land this double swing, but they're both there, ready and waiting. FAV Gaming continue that momentum they developed on their attacking side and maintain their composure for that defense.
And what was really impressive for me is QConfirm hit the trigger. They just hit the go button at one point, and FAV weathered that storm really well. In fact, they came out on top of it, really. And that's usually where we see a lot of teams kind of crumble to QConfirm's pretty hectic kind of minute left executes. It happens pretty often, and it just seems to overwhelm so many teams. But this time around, it just didn't. And that is quite impressive from FAV, and certainly a saving grace for them throughout this defense half if they can keep that up.
I wonder whether Statin Trophy is going to be any better for FAV than it was for QC, because just seeing that we're back here on this bomb site is kind of giving me PTSD from that first half. Just so dominant for the attacking side. I wonder, was the like determining factor there the fact that it was the attack, or the fact that it was FAV on it, right? Because that's what could very well determine the result of this round, and even potentially the half, right? Like, if FAV show that they've got pretty strong defenses here, then the sky's the limit. Was that just pre-opened deliberately, I wonder, that mirror window?
Seems like it. Didn't quite see the actual aftermath of it, but yeah, it did seem like it. So that's interesting. Going back to the stat trophy stats as well, we highlighted in North that it really is an attacker-sided site. In fact, the most attacker-sided site on Villa. It's still the case on South, but much more closely contested. So 44% win rate for the defense. So it is attacker-sided, but it's much more even. So it's always hard to read exactly into that. Does that mean that South teams struggle to attack comparatively? Or are the strats just better, defensively? It's really hard to say. We have a really great litmus test right here, so we'll see whether QConfirm can take out this attack round.
So they are going to try and put some pressure vertically below. A lot of drones coming out to check out dining. Very common. Means you can get those mute jammers off the wall. You can count any mirror windows from below. There is a mute jammer, potentially 2 on that main master wall. And while there is already a line of sight through the open mirror window, you probably want to create more lines of sight. And, that is a line of sight that the defense is dictating. You probably want to dictate your own lines of sight. So good control here for QC so far.
Yeah, they've got that vertical control. Certainly is going to help. We saw how effective it was once FAV got the vertical control on a lot of these attacks. So it just comes down to what they can do with it. They're going to use this utility to clear what's on the wall to be able to be breached, but I don't think it's that simple. In fact, they actually missed that mute jammer, so they're going to have to continue to try and clear this out. Finally is gone, but again, it's not that simple. The mirror is on the wall, and there's a player still playing relatively aggressively, and they have impacts. So you know what's up next? Impact tricking.
Yeah, there you go. I think I realize now why the mirror window is there. It's like usually you can only impact trick over the top through the opened holes, but that won't like destroy any X-Kairos pellets or Ace Selmas that are low on the wall, right? And that's an angle that you wouldn't have if not for that open mirror window. Like Colas just not realizing that that line of sight is open and jumping into closet is a death trap.
It really is. Bathroom, somehow, a little bit safer. Hajime is going to go for that option. And this is where time is so against them. 40 seconds to go.
God,
that was a hard pick. Oh my lord, I can't believe there wasn't a kill out of that. K-Rays are just deciding better against it. 2 players coming up Astro Stairs. FAV extend their man advantage. Dev, this looks like FAV are just coming out tops right now.
Yeah, and the last 2 players from QC are stuck on the Astro Stairs. Choking on smoke, K-Razor can easily hold this off. Number 2's got an angle as well. What a terrible position. We've even got Taipon with the vertical angle as well. There is absolutely nothing QConfirm can do. FAV Gaming, what a strat and what a flawless round.
I think after today, QConfirm are probably going to be happy to never see Stat Trophy again in any capacity because they can't defend it, they can't attack it. FAV are all over that site, and I have to say that was just nothing but impressive from FAV. The strats with the mirror on the main wall, with the alibi to supplement, I thought was absolutely fantastic, and they played it perfectly. And this is starting to get seriously concerning for QConfirm. They are outright just getting outplayed right now.
Yeah, totally. And I'm looking back at FAV, their Villa stats, like they played it a bunch in the Japan League and in APAC North. Unfortunately, I haven't actually been able to watch every single one of their games. Like, I don't know whether this is never seen before strats here from FAV. And I don't know, maybe they did this in some of their North or Japan League games. I don't actually know that. But what I will say is they're amazing. I love these strats. Like, how cool was that angle from that open mirror window onto that jump in? Like, there was no chance that like Colas was surviving that closet window jump. Just the creativity that we see from FAV is beautiful love child of, I presume, a lot of Shin's work. You know, Shin is a very experienced man. He actually subbed in for Norenga at the Paris Major in 2018. There you go, fun facts with Dev. But yeah, even though he's not playing today, I'm sure that his, I guess, brain is being lended to a lot of these strats. And I have no doubt that a lot of these other guys on the roster, and of course, NASA is the analyst for this roster. And I'm sure that there are a lot of other people involved, but I love it.
Yeah, no, it's very neat. And I'm sure the other thing that you're loving to see, because I am too, number 2 is just having an absolute field day, man. He is just going, 15 and 6 of 8 rounds played so far. That's pretty incredible. And I'm just looking back, you know, he is the second highest rated player on their team. You know, normally it is Afro that has been the guy that absolutely pops off. He's had a bit of a quiet day, but I just don't think there's been anything left for him to clean up for, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great thing, isn't it? Really, when who is usually your star player is a bit quieter, but you've got Taipon and number 2 stepping up hugely. QConfirm haven't been shocking, but they definitely haven't been on the same level as FAV this game. No two ways about it. Producer Boom's usually a big hitter. We've seen some serious highlights from him during Stage 2. And not showing up anywhere near on the scoreboard like some of these FAV guys are.
To bring it out too, you know, QConfirm, they did miss out on Stage 1 playoffs. They only just scraped into the Stage 2 playoffs because they really did just flutter off in the end of the half, at the end of the stage. And I'm sure they would be really disappointed with the performance they're putting in right now, and that would just be so unfortunate, right? Like, they missed out playoff Stage 1, they've made it for Stage 2, and here they are showing up with a pretty dismal effort at this point. There's more to this team that we can see, it's just whether we will actually see it. But right now, they've gotten some really good vertical control here in Stat Trophy. They haven't been able to find anything from these picks, and that's where it starts to get critical, because we're just ticking down to the final minute here, Dev. Not a single engagement yet.
Slow and steady for QC, but there is a point where we do get concerned for them here. While they are opening a lot of these vert angles, like, look at the places that FAV are playing just completely not exposed. Like, they've maintained a lot of horizontal control of the map, which means QConfirm can try and clear these side positions. It doesn't matter, especially when number 2 is right there, but he is punished. Great read from Healthcare, and on the back of it, the E1D get some info. Nata does get punished there, despite that information. And now on the ingress, QConfirm might have found a second win. Afro's the last one standing in a 1-on-4 as the E1D locks him in place. They know exactly where he is, and Healthcare has a monstrous round for QConfirm.
Yeah, really big round for Healthcare to step up there. And that's another angle that we could really leap to here. He was such an influential player for QConfirm in Stage 1, a little less so in Stage 2, but we know that once Healthcare starts to step up, the team just kind of excels. That was a really big round for him to step up on. And even though they had about less than a minute to go once they had that vertical control and the line of sights open, that kind of thing, QC, they played confident. They got those picks and really just closed that out in pretty strong form. So good to see. And they can easily close this gap. They're only one round behind now. And that could start to get scary. If QConfirm have found that read, that adaptation to what FAV have been doing, that could be really tough for FAV to bounce back from.
A lot of stakes for both of these teams. Obviously, we're playing for a major spot here. We're also playing for SI points. The way that the APAC format works is obviously we already have 2 teams qualified from APAC for the major. Cyclops, who got first place in APAC North, and Knights, who came first place in APAC South. But only 8 teams from each region, I'm talking, NA, EU, APAC, Latin America, only 8 teams from each region actually get SI points. Now, we have 8 teams in this tournament. Then you've got Plus, Knights, and Cyclops. It means the bottom 2 from this playoffs actually get 0 SI points. And neither of these teams currently have any, right? Because they didn't make playoffs in Stage 1. So in order to fight for SI points, you need to make sure you don't come last or second last in this playoffs. Both of these teams obviously have that on their mind, as well as the potential for actually going to the major spot, which is also a national pride thing as well. Like, FAV could be joining Cyclops as a second Japan team at the major, or QConfirm could hope to... in fact, speaking to QConfirm, I know they told me, like Cola said, they really hope that it's them and Elevate that get the spots through the playoffs so that it can be a double tie representatives at the major. But I don't know if it's possible here. FAV looked pretty good. That said, Producer Boom is back in the server and once again shutting down Afro.
Yeah, Afro really hasn't had the opportunity to get into the game like we have seen him do so in APAC North. But really good sign there from QConfirm to get that opening pick. That is not going to be traded back. I thought it wasn't Gemini for a second. Of course it was. But at the end of the day, K-Rays are in a very precarious position here on main stairs. And we saw QConfirm take this very dominantly in the first time we saw AVG played.
Yeah. Didn't end up mattering though. But we'll see if they can repeat defeat. That is an abusive set of util right there, but there is a rat in the corner and a second one as well. Oh my god, how does he get 2 before he is traded? Number 2 finds a triple in one spray. What a play from the man on FAV. 18 kills to his name. We're only on the 10th round. What is this man?
Number 2 has been having a field day. I mean, far out. He has come to play. I don't know whether he's just like absorbed Shin's energy and he's like, it's right, man, I'll carry 2 loads today. But at the end of the day, he has just been absolutely popping off. And right now, in this 2v2 situation, starts to get very scary for QConfirm. The prospect of losing this round means FAV would be on match point, and that is not a position you want to be in.
A lot of pressure now on the 2 OGs from QC, like Colas and Producer Boom. Good drone work though. Ooh, did he spot out the player at bar? I think number 2's position has not yet been exposed. Typon likely to be droned out here. Oh, there you go. They did spot him at bar. One of Lycolis' teammates will be sitting on that, no doubt. Number 2's the most dangerous player here and the high priority target for QConfirm. It's a bit of info as well for FAV here though. What a tight angle there, but Producer Boom does reveal that he's watching it from that pre-fire. 20 seconds, pressure on now. No time to waste for QConfirm. FAV just have to sit back and wait It's the two top fraggers to hold on. But that's a good opening. Number two's been downed. Producer Boom and Lycolis against Taipon. Taipon cannot win it. Lycolis finds both. QConfirm save themselves from staring down match point, even up this scoreline.
Oof, really well composed at the end from QConfirm. They had that absolute momentum swing after number two got his 3k. But yeah, nobody else from FAV managed to find a kill out of that. Just really well closed out from QConfirm, and they've been able to bring this back to 5-5. Again, feels like one of these games that we might see just go straight to OT. Dev being a BO1, that's going to be very exciting because it decides which one of these teams is going to progress through this upper bracket and who's going to start to have to put their faith into a lower bracket run.
That's it. I mean, speaking of, do you want to mention the first team that we know of that has made it to the lower bracket?
Yeah, sure, we can do that. So Demo and Kia have come out victorious against Kira, 7-2. Very dominant win, in fact. So that's what you would expect to see. But as was prefaced, you know, Kira did cause an upset last stage, knocking Cyclops out in this exact round. So look, it's really good to see from Dem 1. They've certainly been a team in mighty form in APAC North. I'm really excited to see how they go in these playoffs.
Yeah, in a way, I am surprised to see Kira go down so easily. Like you said, they had an upset over Cyclops in stage 1. Kira also are in peak form right now. Like they said it, even when I spoke to Seed from Mercenaries, he said that Kira is in peak form right now. That said, I think this is more so just a testament to Dam 1 Kia and the form that they have found in stage 2, which is just insane. And a monumental moment for the Korean region as well, where Cloud9 is sleeping, dozing off, and didn't even qualify for the playoffs. We finally have a team that is not Cloud9 from Korea that is a serious competitor at an APAC level or even further than that.
Yeah, I think that's really exciting. I know it's something I've tweeted about a bit over this stage. It's just this rise from Dem 1 Kia has been super exciting to watch. And I'm hoping we get to talk about them later because I have a lot of stuff I'd love to mention about Dem 1, but we should probably go back and focus on FAV QConfirm right here because this is getting pretty... Whoever wins this round is going really favorable position. Of course, not being regular season, it's not a matter of OT points and stuff anymore. You just want that dub.
Yeah, that's it. We've seen a lot of good vertical nades here from both teams. Good usage of that one in this case to clear that mute jammer, but Roldini actually found the opening kill. And a second nade goes out, doesn't find anything as of yet. Trying to clear that mirror window is the player below. Eventually they do find the angle and pop that canister. The back of that Lycolis starts to mount some pressure. Oh, what a line.
And this is just really good pressure on this attack. And oh my lord, Natsar did not know what was coming his way. FAV really need to hold their ground here. This line being very effective. Big C4, but it's shot in air. Beautifully done. FAV just not really able to make anything land right now, and QConfirm getting a bit relentless with the pressure they're putting on.
I am loving this from QC. They are stepping on the pedal, full to the metal, but number 2 is about to break 20 in a 1v3 for match point for his team or against it. He's got a retake. 3 players to find with Lycolis putting that diffuser down on the ground. Healthcare and Producer Boom as well to cover, and they do. Number 2 can't break 20, but QConfirm has found match point.
Beautifully done from QConfirm to have really turned this around. It felt like FAV had all of that momentum, and even in that last moment, it's such a good trait of QConfirm, even though they are so well known for their like aggressive, fairly unpredictable and just difficult kind of play style. They're also really good at executing some restraint. Producer Boom, he could have early peaked that, which certainly in the form that number 2's had, wouldn't have been good to do. You know, number 2, you would back him in to be able to take that if Producer Boom had peaked early or just even held the hard angle. The fact that he stayed that very patient until number 2 was well inside trophy. It's a small thing, I know, but I just think it really demonstrates a pretty big strength of QConfirm as a roster.
Yeah, honestly, the first half of this match just looked like FAV were going to take it maybe 7-3. Like, it just looked like such a good FAV game. And QConfirm in these last 3 rounds has just been revitalized to another level. It is amazing to witness. With FAV taking their tactical timeout here, they're going to need to bring something out because these defenses have been shaky. We praise their attacks, but they can't find their footing on their defenses.
Which is a bit surprising, but hey, it is what it is. They had two really good defenses in round 7 and 8, and yeah, they just haven't been able to replicate the magic since. I don't blame them for going to Aviator Games. It was very successful in the first round of the Huff, and even in round 10, it did come down to that 2v2 scenario. I know number 2 got like a 3k in one magazine, but at the end of the day, AVG definitely seems to be their strongest side, so I'd back them into getting this. I'm still feeling like this is an overtime game.
Well, optimistic there for FAV. I'm not sure where to call it yet. I've definitely seen good things from FAV, but I've also, seen good things from QC, and these defenses from FAV have been exploited very well, especially in the most recent 3 rounds. There's no doubt who has the momentum in their corner right now, and that's the tie. So let's see if QConfirm can keep bringing that. One thing that's just such an amazing disparity between these teams, just look at the kill counts, right? We've talked a lot about number 2. He is an outlier here. We've got 2 players on double digits on FAV, and then if you look over at QConfirm, very, very even across the board. Yeah, Roldini's on 10, but I would say this is... You look at that, you probably looked at the score alone of just the kills, and I would probably think FAV is winning.
Yeah, look, I'd be inclined to agree, but as we all know, it's not what Siege is about. I mean, it's a factor, but there are many other factors that will win you rounds and win you games. And right now, QConfirm has just started to do some of those other factors better than FAV, and look, that could be the difference. This is a really, really critical round here, and some nice changes for FAV is just this aggression in the hallway, and it's gonna pay out. It's a beautiful angle from number 2. That locks in the 20 bomb for the map. Unbelievable.
What an angle as well. Like, you might contest that from the hatch, but very rarely will you actually see that angle directly above the window. I really like that. We talked about a lot of things, but not so much about the Amaru from Producer Boom. I think that there was an idea here, maybe of going into the 90 window that perhaps has been dashed, thanks to healthcare going down early. He's still tempting it. Yeah. I'm a bit scared for him, though. I don't know, Raven. Like, what is the play for QC?
He looks like they're trying to time this with something. Maybe it's a pinch from the main stairs. They've got teammates falling left and right, and he comes in, not realizing number 2's there, but he gets absolutely demolished. What a flick from Producer Boom, and 3-3 is the situation we are left with.
I'm afraid 20 is all you get for now, number 2, and it could be your score for the game. QConfirm here on match point in the 3-on-3, a minute to go. Still FAV have some site presence, but Afro is not really in a good position to support that. He has to rotate back upstairs, and he took a couple shots. I believe that was Hajime on brown stairs. Producer Boom's at 90, but all in all, like, this is pretty well separated for both teams. They're gonna go hunting, and they do take down Afro. Taipon's the last one standing. Now, Producer Boom can get upstairs easily with that Garo hook, but a 2v1 and QC do it! What a reverse sweep for the tie. 4 rounds in a row. Doesn't matter that number 2 has 20 kills when QConfirm can win their opening game here in the APAC playoffs.
Really big turnaround from QConfirm there, honestly. 3-3 half was pretty disappointing in that first half, and then they lost the first 2 rounds of their attacks, and it just looked like it was all FAV, but man, they dug deep, and ever since round 9, there's nothing but QC. Great to see them advance. They're going to be happy to have gotten through that, and now they're going to have a really big opportunity. One more BO1 away from that upper bracket final. That's a massive deal.
Yeah, very exciting. And I believe with the back of that, QConfirm will go on to play Dam 1, and FAV will go and play an elimination match against Akira. Exciting times for, especially, I'm going to say QConfirm here. That's a pretty significant move for them, especially just being down so much. Like, their mental must have been down the toilet, right? Like, how do you come back from just losing all those trophy defenses even losing your opening attacks. And they just managed to really muss a second win.
Yeah, look, I think they just didn't lose belief in their playstyle, and honestly, you could really see that shift. It happened on the scoreboard, but you could really see the shift once they kind of clicked into what they're so good at. They nailed it. You know, some of those executes that for QConfirm, they come at pretty odd times. They're not the kind of team that will just wait until the last 20 seconds if they haven't got enough map control. They're the kind of team that will look at the 1 minute mark and be like, shall we go now? And they do it. And they really pulled that off from round 9 onwards. Just a lot about their playstyle started to really shine through. It didn't look like FAV were really outplaying them that much anymore. And I remember saying, as QC did kind of flip the switch, it's going to be hard for FAV to readapt, and they didn't.
That's it. Yeah, very chaotic game, very entertaining, and a big win for QC. But we'll toss it back to the desk to break down that game for you guys.
Thank you very much, Dev and Raven. Again, doing all the games all the much justice. But Xenox, as we look back at this match, 4 rounds straight, right at the end for QC there. Does this just come down to FAV having to play with a sub?
Oh, I knew you'd go that direction. Look, honestly, it's obviously a topical point. It's not ideal. And yeah, maybe it has an impact on the result when it's all said and done. But I think for QC, the biggest thing is that they got challenged for a bit, had to deal with that adversity, which over the last 3 or 4 weeks, they haven't been able to do that, right? So it says a lot, I think, for QC to be able to, ride that little journey in that game, come out on the other side with a very good showing towards the last couple of rounds. And ultimately, I think, for FAV, there's questions there that we just won't be able to get answers to because of the sub.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one, but I guess we have positive light for QC. We actually have Lycolis on the line, so let's go to him and have a quick chat. Lycolis, congratulations, a hard-fought victory in the end, 4 rounds straight at the end. How are you feeling after that one?
Well, it's hard to describe. We almost first to lose our whole time, so we were happy about the result, but also disappointed our team performance that is still not good enough to be a better result.
Hey, Lycolis, firstly, congrats on the win, but I do have to ask, coming into the playoffs, there had maybe been, we'll say, some poor form from you guys over the last few weeks to close out the stage. What's sort of been, I guess, going into the preparation to overturn some of that form coming into the playoffs?
You mean how do we prepare to coming into the playoff, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we are we just doing things like we usually do. We just practicing the cream and then just let our coach set the strategy that how they play, and then we just look at it and then decide that before the game start that what we're gonna play at the moment that the game round start. We were not that set the strategy before the game start. We were more look at them and see how they play and try to set strat right at that moment. It is a good thing. It's give us a flexibility, but also we're gonna lose if our comp mess up. Yeah, so that's why it's kind of sometimes we kind of mess up because of how we play.
Well, if you thought that game was going to be tough like Collis, I'm assuming your next one will probably be even harder. Damwon Kia look really good at the moment. What are you expecting in that matchup?
I think fighting against their one, we just have to be be more careful and check the angle that they are holding, because sometimes the last few weeks we team with them, and then their style is more they plan to clear here, and then they will drop someone that always there to holding the ankle. If we are not careful enough, maybe we'll get free kill for them. So we just have to be careful and be ready to fight them back.
All right, well, Lycolis, we'll leave it there. Do you have any final comments or maybe thank yous you'd like to give out before we let you go?
Well, I would like to thank you, all the fans. We may disappoint you that we couldn't win the last payday to qualify to major, but anyway, it's happened. We just have to go on and focus on playoff. And happy birthday, Dave Mata. Thank you.
Lycolis, you're so lovely, mate. Thank you very much for joining us, and best of luck in your game against Damn One Kia.
Bye-bye.
There you have it. It is looking like Lycolis is kind of treading on very dangerous water, Guz. It sounds positive, but not overly positive.
Yeah, I got a sense of relief from Lycolis from that matchup.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem completely over the moon in the way in which they won that matchup. But I think they can be proud that they got that first win on the board. Again, the storyline heading into this was that they have been struggling over the last couple of weeks. So to be able to at least get a win on the board and not have to worry yet about that lower bracket run has to be a relief. But I mean, looking forward to that next matchup. Damwon Kia is such a huge opponent. I would say Damwon Kia are massive favourites in that matchup. So QConfirm just need to muster up what they can. As Lycolis said, it's going to be a really, really challenging matchup for them. So we'll have to see what they can produce, but I don't think they're going to have massive expectations heading into that game if they're being realistic.
Well, I'll say one thing. The game that we have coming up on the other side of this break, it's Mercenaries and Elevate, and it sounds an awful lot like you've just described there, Guz. It's an uphill battle for Mercenaries, but we'll have to find out how they go